Stop talking and hand it over to G7 JTT to take it. G4KLB. Well, there's the thing, eh? A waffle alert.
Rico, we have stage separation.
Stage.
Right, apologies for that. Not quite sure what was going on there, but anyway, we're here. Hopefully a few people can see us. A very good evening to Jim M0CKE, who's just DK'd actually a few minutes ago off of GB3EY. So I was hoping to see whether he could see me or not. Anyway, there we go. Right. 77's PAs, but I've been playing 77 this week as well. I built one onto this solid copper that weighs just under a kilo of copper. It's based upon it's not finished yet, it's all lashed together just to check it works, etc. An RA07H4452M little module with one of the little Enigma boards in there. Works really well. It gives me about a watt or so of DATV with about 35-ish dB shoulders, which is good enough, I think. The only problem is it's got a 6 dB pad on the front end, which for the monk jack means you've got to drive the monk jack quite hard, which in itself will give. Oh, I forgot to start a timer after all that. Anyway, don't matter. I'm only doing the one over. It means that you've got to drive it a bit too hard, the monk jack that is, which then produces horrible shoulders. So I tried using one of them FPS devices on it, but the problem with that was it produced too much input for the to drive it. It was you almost had to turn the BIOS off completely just to be able to do it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, Gareth. I'm going to take the 6 dB pad out and try 3 dB in it. I think that'll be fine. Then I can then run the monk jack about halfway, which well between 10 and 15 seems to be the sweet spot on the monk jack, and hopefully still get about a watt out, which I'm hoping will be enough to get into GB3 VL when they put certain SEMs in there. That's the hope, and then I can then use the 23 SEMs.
Yes, I talked last week about not being able to connect 6 G-streamer pipelines together. Well, I finally did it, actually. It's only taken 2 years. So that was working. So I arranged with John to do a test, and it worked. As John said, we had a QSO. We discovered one problem. I'd only been using 1080p, and he came on 720, and that managed to crash it. But I figured that out, and that's sorted. So you can go in at anything now. I think John went down even less than 720. Actually, I can't remember. But virtually any symbol rate, anything, you know, it converts it all up to 1080, whatever you put in. So that's the way it works. The only problem, slight problem, is at the moment the turnaround time needs shortening. In other words, when somebody comes off key, you have to wait longer than you might want to before keying it again. And I know what's the problem there is that the auto detect and disconnect is too conservative. It's waiting, you know, I'm checking for the intermittent losses, and it's checking far too long. So in other words, a load of code wants stripping out, but that can wait. So it's onto something more challenging now. I've mentioned before, I've got 2 of these things. I bought these quite some time ago, and I haven't touched them. Well, I touched them today, and very confusing, very confusing. It's all right for you lot on Windows, but on Mac it's sometimes easier and sometimes harder. And I don't know whether it's harder or easier actually, but I just plugged it in, you know, and I managed to get it connecting to the Mac. I didn't have to install anything on the Mac at all. It just came up on the desktop. So the Pluto S, you know, its internal hard drive just came on. Just a minute, I'll put the other screen on.
STLSat has initiated development of new technology for the Qatar Amateur Radio Society. As part of that initiative,
This, get rid of that, and bring up SDR Angel and start this one. Oh, and it's working, right? And you can tune around, you know. It's really good, isn't it? Shut up. Right, okay. So I'm quite pleased with that. So something's working. The software on this thing is what's it called? Tahuto or whatever it's called. You know, the Everest thing. I haven't done anything else. So I'm quite amazed actually that it's receiving. So the next stage tomorrow is to, instead of, by the way, it's connected to a 77 antenna pointing in some strange, pointing out to sea actually, and that's picking up those radio stations. Not exactly hi-fi, is it, this SDR stuff? So if anybody can explain to me why I'm getting 1.40 without actually altering anything on the config file, which is, as you know, defaults to 2.1 and 2.10. That's really weird. I don't get that. And I